Hello everyone! I am back once again, this time with a new series. This is Healing in the Dark, Chapter 1 by Anxious Astronaut 18. Please ignore my dog barking in the background. This was requested by Mika Sprout 1 a couple of months ago when I was doing my Safe House series. If you haven't watched that, go watch it. I think you'll enjoy it. If you enjoy like Solangelo fanfictions, I think you'll enjoy it. Which I assume you do enjoy them if you clicked on this video. Yes. Well, the one that was requested was Battling Demons, which is the sequel to this. However, I have never read Healing in the Dark, so we are going to do that one first. So I will be doing this one, and then Battling Demons, and then probably something else after. I don't know what it is yet, but we've got a lot of time because this is like 24 chapters and Battling Demons is like 34, so I've got a whole lot of time to figure out what to do next. So, without further ado, oh wait, no. With further ado, one more warning. This fanfiction, I've been warned before, both by like the little hashtags in the fanfiction itself and people in the comments. It does get kind of dark with depression, with topics of depression, anxiety, and self-harm. There's none of that in this chapter, but it does get there at some point. So for anyone that really doesn't like that stuff, this fanfiction might not be for you. However, if you're willing to skip like chapters, this might be for you. I don't know. Again, I haven't read it before. So, without further ado, let's get into it. Yay! Nico walked back over to Will Solus, whose eyes lit up as he saw the son of Hades coming back. The skeletal butterflies came back. Nico forced them down, not trusting himself to jump into another unrequited crush. Are you ready for 3 days in the infirmary? Will asked, a smirk unfolding on his features. Nico shook his head. I want to be able to say goodbye to Hazel and Reyna, and everyone going back to Camp Jupiter. I knew you were going to try and get out of it, Will joked. Nico opened his mouth to defend himself, but Will cut him off. Of course you can say goodbye, but if you don't report straight to the infirmary... What, gonna make me sit in the sun all day? I can summon skeletons and commune with the dead, so you can't really threaten me, Nico stated. Not without dissolving into a pool of shadows you can't. We've talked about this. No more underworldy powers. Anyway, I was going to say that I was going to curse you to rhyme and only speaking couplets all day. Will smirked. The grin was wiped off Nico's face. Nico had seen that before, and that was not something he wanted to be on the receiving end of. He mumbled indistinctively. Will leaned forward with his arms crossed across his chest. I'm sorry, what was that? I said fine, you win, Nico gave up. The son of Apollo started laughing. Those are words I never thought I would hear coming from your mouth. Nico felt himself turn red. Shut up, Solus. Will grinned even more. He opened his mouth to say something else, but he was interrupted by one of his siblings calling for him for his help in the infirmary. Will Solus started jogging backwards. That's my cue. See you soon, Death Boy. He turned around and jogged the rest of the way down to the infirmary. Don't call me that, Nico muttered under his breath. But Will was already out of sight. Nico had just finished helping Hazel load her stuff onto the van and given her a kiss on the cheek. He waved goodbye to Reyna, who came up to Nico and gave him a hug. Nico tensed but relaxed into it. We'll see each other again. Please keep in touch. I want to keep an eye on you, Reyna whispered into his ear. Nico smiled. Just like Jason had become an older brother to him, Reyna acted like an older sister. I will. Reyna pulled away, looked at him, her eyebrows knit with concern. And if you have any problems with anyone or anything, I'm just an iris message away. Nico mentally rolled his eyes. Yep, he thought, just like a concerned older sister. And please no shadow traveling for a while. No use in injuring yourself. You sound like Will. Will? Who's Will? Reyna raised an eyebrow and gave him a look. No one, just a healer. Now get your Romans out of here. Goodbye, Nico. She walked back over to the vans. Nico raised a hand up in farewell. He dropped his hand and turned back to camp. He headed back to his cabin, completely forgetting his promise to Will. He got to the door and looked up to see Solus, with his arms crossed, blocking the entrance to his cabin. No way are you getting in here. You made a promise. Nico cursed under his breath. And me, knowing your disappearing and brooding ways, knew to make sure you remembered that you had an appointment. Brooding? Nico asked angrily. He knew that his personality rubbed people the wrong way, but they were usually too scared to say anything. Oh, don't act like a drama queen. You know it's true. Nico's temper started rising. Don't pretend like you understand me, Solus. Don't act like you're so misunderstood, D'Angelo. You are not as alone as you think you are. Will shot back. Wanna bet how not alone was I when I was trapped in Tartar. Whoa, he thought. You can't afford to go down that path right now. Whatever. I am not having this conversation with you. Nico's walls went up even higher than they already were. He barely let his sister in. He wasn't about to let some kid he barely knew in. But Will apparently had his own ideas. As your doctor, Nico rolled his eyes, it is my responsibility to heal you physically as well as emotionally. Yeah, like anyone could do that. What can I do to make you shut up? Nico asked. Infirmary and bed rest for 3 days starting now. Doctor's orders. Will stated with a small smile. Look, I'm fine. I'm not injured and I'm not tired. Nico was lying through his teeth. He had some pretty deadly injuries from his time shadow jumping halfway around the globe. Those werewolf lacerations, which were stitched hastily by Reyna, were not healing at all, though they were hidden under a black jacket. He was so weak from his days of shadow jumping that he shouldn't even be breathing by normal standards. He had countless other injuries that had never even been looked over by a healer before, and other scars that he didn't want to even acknowledge. He hadn't had a full night's sleep in months because of the nightmares that were sure to come. He hadn't even eaten a full meal in weeks either. He was just a mess, but he wasn't going to admit that he wasn't going to admit that to that accursed son of Apollo. But even as Nico lied, he knew it was weak. Will thought so too. He narrowed his eyes and said, rather forcefully, don't lie to me, Nico. I can see the bags under your eyes. You're as pale as a ghost, your clothes are hanging off you, and I bet you if I grabbed your hands, they would be oozing of darkness from all your traveling. You are coming to the infirmary, and that is final. Nico stepped back. He had not expected Will Solus, who seemed so laid back, to be so passionate and determined to get him to the infirmary. You have to let people in to help you, Nico. You can't do everything alone, Will said, more delicately. Nico was about to make a scathing remark when Jason Grace decided now would be a good time to interrupt. Hey, Nico, what's... He stopped as soon as he saw Nico glaring at Will, and Will looking concerned. Am I interrupting something? Will looked at the son of Jupiter with a smile. No, you aren't. I was just escorting Nico here to the infirmary so he can heal and get some rest. Nico backed further away from Will. I told you I'm fine. And I told you to stop lying. You need rest. You look dead on your feet. Never heard that one before. Nico sneered. Nico, I am not coming with you. Jason was watching this conversation with his mouth open. Nico guessed Jason was just as surprised as he was that Will wasn't terrified of him. Nico knew that he intimidated Jason, even if they were friends. When Jason saw Nico looking at him for support, he cleared his throat. Yeah, well, I think you should go to the infirmary, Nico. You haven't been since we've been back, and from what Raina told me, you have some pretty nasty... Nico's eyes widened in surprise as he cut off the son of Jupiter. Shut up, Grace! Nico really did not want Will to know about those werewolf claw marks. He was going to get such a lecture from everyone, but Will had heard what Jason had said. Pretty nasty what, Nico? Nico groaned. Why me? Nothing, okay? You can both just leave me alone? Gods no, Nico, Jason said protectively. You need to get your injuries looked at and get some sleep. I know you didn't get much of that on the Argo too. You've been through hell and back. Just accept some help. Nico gave him a death glare, causing Jason to take a step back. But he didn't walk away. Nico threw his arms up in defeat. Fine, take me to the infirmary. The sooner I get there, the faster I get out. Will uncrossed his arms, a smile breaking out on his face as he clapped his hands together. Excellent! I thought I was going to have to drag you there." "You still might have to," Jason said under his breath. Nico glared at him as he spoke, which prevented him from seeing Will move towards him. Jason shrugged as Will grabbed his arm. Warning bells went off in Nico's head. He did not like being touched when he wasn't expecting it. "Don't touch me!" Nico's emotions got the better of him, causing a skeletal hand to break through the surface of the ground behind him as he ripped his arm away from Will. He pulled back so forcefully that he tripped down the stairs and fell onto the grass. He gulped down his frustration and embarrassment. How many shades of messed up was he that someone barely touching him caused him to freak out? Will looked aghast and tried to help him up, but stopped himself. Jason crouched down next to him. "You okay, man?" He pushed himself up and didn't reply to Jason's question. He considered the bony hand jutting from the surface and sent it back underground. "I thought I said no more underworld stuff." Will was cut off by Jason. "Look, Solus, lay off him, okay? I know you're trying to help, but Nico's been through a lot and he really doesn't like being touched." Nico missed the rest of the conversation as he paced around a bit to get his emotions under control. He knew what it was like to lose control of his emotions, but his heart was racing way too fast. His head was spinning and his heart felt like it was being squeezed. What was happening to him? He looked up to find sets of eyes looking at him. Jason's were filled with protection and Will's with concern. Nico's Nico started seeing black spots as he stumbled. Jason moved to catch him, but Nico righted himself. He shook his head to clear the dizziness. He guessed that he shouldn't attempt to summon any more skeletons. Maybe he did need to go to the infirmary. "Okay, let's go," he mumbled, walking past Jason and Will down to the infirmary. That was Healing in the Dark, Chapter 1 by Anxious Astronaut 18. That was not a very dark chapter. It seems like it could be a very good lead into a very interesting story, so I think I will enjoy it. I'm going to continue reading it either way, whether I enjoy it or not, honestly, but I think I'm going to enjoy it. Also, what do you guys think about the fan art I picked for this series? Because I think, I don't know, I think it's really, really cute. I haven't read the series before. Once again, I know I've already said that, but I haven't read the series before, so I don't know if it fits. Pretty sure it won't, because I've heard the series can get pretty dark, but I think it's really cute. Compliments to the artist. I don't know why, but I just love this fan art so much. I can't really read the signature at the bottom, but to this person, which I cannot read the name of, I got this photo off of Google. Your art is absolutely marvelous. I love it. Um, Continuing on from that topic, I will be continuing my one video a week schedule for like this series as well. I'm sorry, I know so many people have asked for me to like speed it up. However, at this time, the plan is to do the one video a week thing. However, I'm doing this while I'm currently on my little like in my safe house video. I said I would have a little break in between my safe house, the ending of safe house, and this video, the healing in the dark chapter. I'm recording this in advance, like not the day before it has to come out. So if I can get like a whole lot of videos recorded in advance, that might change, but at this exact moment, the plan is for the one video a week schedule to continue. I would say I hope you guys are okay with that, but there's really nothing I can do otherwise. I don't have a whole lot of time in my schedule to put out like 3 videos a week like some other YouTubers might. I just don't have that time. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this series, and I hope you guys will continue to enjoy this series and all the series to come and the one other series that came before it. So don't forget to like, cause I mean, come on, why not like? It's the first chapter of the second series. You might as well like. Comment, because reading comments is always very fun, and it lets me know that you guys like the video. It lets me know, I don't know, really anything you guys want to know that I can share. There are things I can't share, mind you, but yeah, like, comment, subscribe, because if you like Solangelo fanfiction readings or just fanfiction readings in general. I will be doing others at some point, just not at this point. So subscribe if you enjoy those type things, like fanfictions. Um, and I think that's it. Like, comment, subscribe. Yep, that's it. That's it. And I will see you guys probably next week. Once again, probably next week for Healing in the Dark, Chapter 2. I hope you guys enjoyed. Bye. Have a great week.